Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. And we're talking about boundary setting. As a business coach, one of the things that my wife and I talked about, this is probably, 2007. I remember I had a big goal. I want to be worth $1 million before I'm 30. And then it's like, check. Okay. Now I want to hire my dad. Check. Now I want to, and my wife says, it's not about the money for you, is it? And I said, no, I really enjoy, I love helping businesses. It's fun to see them grow. But at the same time, Vanessa goes, wouldn't it be awesome if you could mentor kids? And I said, I know, I'm spending every Thursday I worked for free. I volunteered for 7 years in a row for junior achievement the entire day. So I'd get there at my first class, I think it was at 7:50 or was it 8:50? My first class was 8:50 and I wouldn't leave until 3 something. And Vanessa goes, wouldn't it be awesome if you had time to mentor kids? And I'm like, yes, and I do every Thursday. I've got the whole day. She goes, what about our own kids? And I thought to myself, that's so terrible, but it's so true. And it just hurt because it was like the spear was lodged into my heart. And so I tried to act like I didn't have it. But when you're walking in the office with a spear lodged into your heart, it's just it's weird because people see, you try to wear different outfits to kind of hide the spear. But over time, I realized, what good is it to gain the world and to lose my family? What gain is it to earn a bunch of money? And so I had to set boundaries very hard. And I can tell you, I did not do this until my son was born blind in 2007. And in my wife's book, Now I See, you can get it on Amazon. If you want to just get it for free, call me. I'll give it to you because I want you to read it. But when my son was born blind, and I realized I have all of the money I could ever need and then some, but I have zero time to attend his medical examinations. Because we went to the Dean McGee Eye Institute, and we went there, and the doctor says, your son is blind. He will never see. And so I need you to apply for this and that, and we'll have the state of Oklahoma helps blind children. But if you want a second opinion, you can go to this one. So we went to the next one, and they said, if you want a third opinion, go to this one. And I just would not stop. And Vanessa was, but I didn't have the time, quote unquote, to go to these things. So Vanessa actually went to one of the appointments by herself, and then Dr. Groves, a great, great man, he pulled me aside and he says, hey, real quick. You need to be with your wife when she's going through this kind of stuff. And the fact that you're not is, I don't know how to I'm an optometrist, but it's I know who you are, and it's disturbing. So whatever you need to hear, please do that. And I remember going, oh my gosh, you just... So now we get into ministry, and I see pastors. One of my pastoral friends, very good friend of mine, grew a church to several thousand members. He tells me, this is a true story. He says, hey, I'm thinking about leaving my wife. And I remember I'm having lunch with the guy, and I said, what? And he says, we just, it's kind of a deal where we've drifted apart. As the church has grown, we've kind of grown our separate ways. And I think to myself, I know his wife, I know him. How? What? He says, well, she's always focused on this ministry. I'm focused on this ministry. And I think he's so close to the forest, he doesn't see the trees. And I said, are you telling me you're the pastor of a mega church? You're going to leave your, what? I mean, do you realize that could be not maybe it wouldn't go over so well. But he said, we've grown apart. As the church has grown, we've grown apart. So I'm not passing judgment on divorce. It happens. There's people. And so I just want to ask you guys, as a married couple, you've been together, Pastor Brian, Pastor Jesse Gibson, you've been together. Are people that have a divorce terrible? No. But you guys have been together for 18 years. Correct me if I'm wrong here. 18 years. Right. How do you set boundaries so that as your church grows? Because if even one member, if even every member of your church only reached you one time a month, that would be 1,000 conversations. So if even every member of the church reached you once a month, that'd be 1,000 interruptions. How do you set boundaries? Help somebody out there who has a business with 1,000 customers or a church with 1,000 members. How do you do it?
Well, you have to get intentional. If you're going to take care of this kind of thing, you must begin to live an intentional way. And just like Vanessa put the spear in you, Jesse, a good wife and a good mother, carry spears, right? Because men are built to run through walls. And then women come by and fix us and show us there was a door right here you could have walked through. You did not have to run through this wall.
This is true.
That's what they do in life. And so Jesse came to me and just told me, I'm kind of a workaholic by nature. I love to work. I was raised by workaholics. I don't ever remember not having a job.
That's right.
And
so you're a man.
I'm a man. That's what
right.
I do. Come on.
Or three.
Or three. And so I remember one day I was supposed to have a day off, and I'm hiding in the closet from Jesse. I'm not hiding from the Lord. I'm not hiding from the world. I'm hiding from Jesse.
As a person who's hidden in the closet from their wife before to make a sales call, I put my hand up. I testify. I have. You can ask my wife tonight. This is real. I've done this, so
you guys
I
are
can.
sick.
Yeah, I'm like, just get one more call in.
I'm in there I'm in the dark in the closet on the phone on my what's supposed to be our family day or day off, and all of a sudden the door opens to the closet, the light comes in, and Jesse,
you're not looking at anything weird. You're not being weird. You're not being like a nefarious person. You're trying to make one more ministerial call.
That's all I'm doing. I'm like helping somebody. It's got a problem.
You're dirty.
Yeah, I'm a bad man. And so the light shines in on me, and Jesse says, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
What are you doing?
So I lied to her, nothing. And
what are you doing, Brian? What's going on?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Seems like you're on the
It sounded a little bit different than that. It was more like, what is wrong with you?
Oh.
Yeah, she knows it's an addiction.
Yeah.
So she started telling me what she needed and what I needed to be as a dad and as a father. And I'll let her talk about that a second.
I don't think guys get it sometimes necessarily. I don't think all women get it. But if you don't keep your family together, life gets real rough, so it's not always possible to patch things that have already happened. But
right.
In our case, we were each other's first spouse. That gave us a leg up already.
Financial tip out there for anybody listening: if you want to keep half of your net worth, don't get divorced.
That's right.
Okay, so back to you.
So no judgment on anyone
Right.
or anything, but as a child from a divorced home, I think that I understood, like, we have got to do something different to guard us, to make sure that our kids actually have their mom and their dad that they love growing up in church, love growing up in our family, and want to come back. So me and Brian have a family statement. Yeah.
I want to tee this up real quick before we get to the family statement, because there's somebody listening, and this is what you're doing. This is you. I love my family. I care about my family so much, which is why I spend 80 hours a week at home. I've never had a job. And so I know there's somebody out there who's going, amen, yes, yes. And there's someone out there like me who's going, Proverbs 10:4 says, God blesses the diligent. And I'll tell you what, I'm working 80 hours a week every week. And I'll tell you what, if you get a trophy, if you get to go to heaven faster by working harder, I'm going to die at my desk because I'm going to get something. And so there's a balance.
Absolutely.
So Pastor Brian is more towards the I'm going to work hard. I know you, Pastor Jesse. I mean, you're a grinder. You work hard.
Yeah.
But there's somebody out there listening too who wants to. So there's a balance. But back to you and your family's mission statement.
Well, definitely, we are hard workers. We love to work. Like we tell our kids we love to work. Our kids love to work. We work. We love it. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at my kids and I'm thinking the best thing that I can do for them is stay married. And the best thing that I can do for this church is stay married. And so I tell our families in our church, I say this to them, whenever you get done with your 40, 50 hours a week, hopefully maybe even 60, if you're like, if you're going for it, 70, 80, 90, whatever. When you get done and you go home, you just showed up to work. And if we think of it like that, like our family, like we will literally prepare for a presentation at our job for 2 solid days, go to work doing everything. But then we show up at home, we're like, I'm just going to say it however it comes out. I'm going to do it however it happens. I'm not going to make a plan. I'm not going to have a specific day. So we started blocking out segments of time that were specifically only for
I
our
want to
family.
argue real quick on behalf of a couple people out there that would disagree with you, just real quick here.
All right.
Elon Musk, I mean, he says you just have to, I'm quoting Elon Musk, he says you just have to work like hell. Put in 80 to 100 hours a week. Now, Elon Musk has been divorced. He's been divorced from the same woman twice. So she divorced him. He's like, baby, I'm so sorry, baby. I didn't mean it. Come on back. Come on back, baby. And they got back together. And then she left him again. And he's pointed out, I am, but got to tell you, I am married to my work. Now, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, divorced, but gosh, made a lot of money. Just made a lot of money. You think about Michael Jordan. He was so good at basketball. It was just fun to watch. Divorced. So what happens is I would ask you right now, in a moment of clarity, a moment of, hopefully you're thinking about this, a moment of meta time, thinking above your daily distractions, what do you really want? Because you can't have it all. And I know for me, just from a business perspective, today was a crazy day, awesome day. I had a guy calls me, says, hey, I've been listening to your podcast, and I called the guy that owns the Tip Top Canine, one of the guys who owns one, and he's making a lot of money. Like he's making like $2,000 or $3,000 a week training dogs, and I've never made $100,000 a year. I want to buy one. And he goes, and my friend, he wants to buy one too. And so today, literally, there are five specific people that are going, I would like to. And there's a guy in Florida who wants to buy 3 elephant in the room locations. There's a guy in Dallas who wants to buy 6. There's a guy in Austin who wants to buy, and it's so great. But it's also going, hey, I'm going to grill chicken with my wife. I'm going to burn some pinyon wood. Hopefully, if the pastor lets me, we're going to go on a man run to Reese's to buy some good, genuine, bona fide, organic meat that my wife will allow me to eat. And so you've got to sometimes say, I'm not going to return that call. So back to ministry. How do you, Pastor Jesse, say, that's the call I can't return right now? Yeah. When is your off time? When's your on time? Help somebody out there who's a pastor who wants to help everybody all the time. When do you turn it off? When do you turn it on? How do you set those boundaries?
So we made an agreement, Brian and I, that we were going to make sure that our kids loved us and had enough fun that they wanted to come back when they didn't have to our house, and that we were going to make sure that each other liked each other. Those were our 2 agreements. We're going to make sure that our kids love being a part of this family enough they'll come back when they are not required.
Got it.
And that we are going to like each other. So every week we block out 2 things. First and foremost of everything, we block out time with our kids, whether that is, and for us, we drive back and forth to school like an hour. So we have an hour on each end of
an hour of power.
Hour of power. We don't waste that hour. So when I'm with my kiddos in the car, like it's not, everybody thinks it's got to be this, this crazy thing where you have to set up this big. We don't have to do major events. We're doing life together, but we're blocking out time where it's just so when I'm in the car with my kids on that drive, I don't make any phone calls. When I'm in the car with my kids on that drive, I'm talking to them, engaging with them about their day. Every week we have a family night. Every week we have a date night. And on that date night, we ask each other, do you still like me?
Now, what we're going to do, we come back, because this is a topic we need to go deeper into. Yes. I want to dive deeper into this. Lee Cockrell, the former executive vice president of Walt Disney World Resorts, and a man who's been married to the same woman his entire life. He managed 40,000 employees and 1 million customers. And he told me this, and I wrote it down when I interviewed him in Orlando. He says, you either pay now or pay later with just about every decision you make about where and how you spend your time. And Clay, that includes your marriage. And I'm going, oh, what? What do you, that's so, Mr. Disney, calm down. Stop being negative. Okay, another notable quotable from Lee Cockrell. He says, the quality of your life is directly affected by how and where you spend your time. So when we come back, I want to hear how Pastor Brian and Pastor Jesse block out their schedules. Because remember, they pastor a church of north of 1,000 people and growing, and they're in the process of co-pastoring a church in Amarillo with another 1,000 people. So there's 2,000 people in the church. That could be 2,000 customers. Everybody has a question. Everybody has an urgent burning fire. How do you set those boundaries? Stay tuned. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio.
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio. We're joined here with the renowned business coach, Eric Chupp. Chupp, how are you? Welcome back to the studio, my friend.
Oh, it feels like it's been forever.
It has been. I have not seen you in at least 5 show segments.
And at least 2 hours.
I'm excited, and we're going to have, it's exciting here. We're going to have Wes Carter joining us here soon with Winners and
Pumped,
King.
the Legal Eagle.
The Legal Eagle, the attorney of choice for Joel
right.
Osteen, T.D. Jakes,
Clay
Joyce
Clark.
Myers. You've seen me in such feature films as... Too many to name, really.
Yeah.
We have Dr. Zellner will be joining us. I'm very excited. We have Pastor Brian Gibson and Pastor Jesse Gibson joining us from River City Church in Owensboro, Kentucky, and we're talking about boundary setting. And I love asking you guys this question because I know your heart. I've been around you guys, and a lot of people say, gosh, when a customer calls me, I have to call them back. I have to. The customer's the one paying my bills. I've got to call the customer back. Sam Walton would say the customer could fire everybody from the chairman of the board on down simply by taking their money somewhere else. A pastor might say, listen, if I'm not responsive to my people, they're going to leave and go to another church. But then I might say, hey, if you're not responsive to your wife, she might leave and go to another dude, not your wife, but other. You've seen this happen. So I want to ask you this here. How do you, Pastor Brian, set boundaries? And I want to look into your schedule here. How do you set boundaries as a pastor of more than 1,000 people?
I thought you were going to say I want to look into his soul.
Well, I want to do that too.
Into my soul.
The
Through my,
technology is not available yet. But.
you can see the soul through the right eye, not so much the left eye.
There you go.
But,
Open that right up. Right up, man.
Here's the Old Testament model that I always teach when I talk about this is King David. Now, David is an unbelievable man. If any guy deserves the title, the Great, David would be David the Great. He wrote the 23rd Psalm, greatest piece of music that's ever been written. The Lord is my shepherd, right? David took Israel and put it on the map, made it a kingdom. David was so successful, he gave like $1 billion, laid it up to the building of the temple. David could do it all. But there was one thing, David was a warrior. David trained men. But there was one thing David couldn't do. David could not take care of his marriage, and he could not lead his children. And because of that, even like an Elon Musk that does everything, right?
Yeah.
He's putting stuff into space. He's doing all
Think
this
about
stuff,
this.
but he's losing his family.
Think about this. Elon Musk has revolutionized online payment with PayPal.
Sure.
He's revolutionized transportation now. All the car manufacturers are making their electric cars. He's created Solar City, which is the largest privately held. It's the largest. People don't realize this. It's the largest privately held energy company. He's putting solar panels on the rooftops of homes everywhere. He's putting ships into space.
Right.
But he can't stay married.
Here's the thing. I love the accomplishment, and I would love to meet Elon Musk, right? I'm not taking anything away from his accomplishment, but as a minister, I've been around a lot of people that are dying. I've seen more people die than I would care to. You get used to, you get acquainted with death, and I've never seen a person say, I wish I would have built my business bigger.
Bigger, faster.
Yeah, stronger, more money. That is off the radar.
Daryl, it's apparent that tomorrow will be your last day on the earth. What are your thoughts here? Do you have anything for your family? Well, since they're not here, I want to tell you, I would have built my business bigger. I would have grown it faster. It would have been bigger because I tell you what, on my LLC, I could have written off more if I would have been wiser about my. No one says that.
Yeah, nobody says, I wish I would have spent less time with my son and my wife, and I would have spent more time building a business.
I've also never seen them return a call to a parishioner or a customer
after they're dead, right? So it's take care of your family. So here's the way we do it. And I got to tip my hat to Jessie. She put the pressure on me because the wife is the nester. And the wife, I believe this, I believe a dad brings identity, but a wife brings nurture.
You shouldn't judge you should not judge a man, but I'll tell you how I judge a man. You shouldn't do it, but I do it because I'm not a pastor, so I can just say whatever. There's really no boundaries here.
Right. Go for it.
I judge a man based off of his wife. I do this because he who finds a wife finds a great thing. And I've noticed that I'm like a mild retarded person who just happens to be good at business. But my wife really sets the standards. And I think she kind of sets the expectations for the family. And I just want to ask, is there somebody listening out there who runs a church, Pastor Jesse, and their husband is just going 90 miles an hour, and he's never having time for the family? How did you guys have that conversation? Were you saying, hey, did you give him a haiku? Did you give him a metaphor? Did you, are you a screamer? Are you a taserer? When did you say, okay, we got to set some boundaries.
Listen, you'll try anything. Scream, cry, tase, bring people in. I actually heard of a pastor's wife that just jumped up on the front row and told everybody just to she didn't use nice words, and she screamed at the crowd. So it'll break after a while, but I guess I just I was telling Brian, we were doing all these things, and finally I just sat him down and I'm like, look, this is the thing. And one of the things I would recommend to you too is make sure you get your husband around really great men that are really good to their families, and then don't raise Cain when they hang out with those guys. Because I think it's important for them to feel like it's okay, because those are the guys that started having conversations with Brian, like really great fathers, and they were having conversations. But then I just came to him and I said, listen, this is the thing. We're pouring into all of these people, and I still like you, but time is limited, and I may not like you in another year. So I'm just telling you that if you and I, and it wasn't that I didn't like him yet. Like, I didn't wait till it was all broken and falling apart. I just said
proactive.
I'm like, this is
that
the thing.
Felt just mean, but accurate.
Very accurate.
I think you meant true. I think you meant true.
I've heard this.
I was being honest.
Me too.
I'm just letting you know ahead of the game that I might not like you in another year if you and I don't get some alone time, because I'm drowning in children right now and I have a lot on my plate. And literally I went to one of my friends and she's like, you have to tell him that the water is right here at your nose and you think you're going to breathe it in, and then he's going to lose you and you're going to die. And I'm like, this is what I need from you. I need alone, phone free, no people in my space time with you.
Steve Jobs, who did not stay married but made a lot of money by focusing on things, he says people think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to 100 other good ideas that there are. You have to pick carefully. He says, I'm actually as proud of the things that we haven't done as the things I have done. Innovation is saying no to 1,000 things. And I would just say, again, I'm not perfect, but I think you have to say no to a lot. And so I just want to get into this because we come back from the break. I want to get into, we're in a digital world where there's a lot. I'm sure there's single women in your church. I'm sure there's single dudes in your church. I'm sure there's couples in your church that have a marital crisis. And it's just a quick text now. You see, back in the day, you used to have to call the church main line, leave a message, and then the secretary, the assistant, the dude could call you and set an appointment up with the pastor. But now, if someone gets that cell phone number, they're going to use that cell phone number. So I just want to know boundary setting on the digital devices. We're in a little different time here. How do you set the boundaries on the digital devices? That to me is like the absolute question that so many of our business coaching clients struggle with. And I want to get Eric Chupp's take on this from a business coach perspective, because I know you've dealt with a lot of clients that have thousands of customers and they don't know when to turn off their phone or not. I mean, it happens.
It's a real problem.
It is a real problem. The struggle is real. Stay tuned. We're talking boundary setting right here on the Thrivetime Show.